connected.
Hey everybody, welcome to Woodzman Dual Sport Adventures. Today I'm out at 600 miles. I'm only about 10 miles out of being 600 miles, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and get my oil changed now, do the 600 mile, which is the first oil change. I think it's, in my opinion, it's pretty critical because usually when you do this first one, it's the break-in oil, and usually it's pretty dirty. Every oil change after that would be every 8,000 miles. But the first one's a 600. I got a genuine Honda oil filter and the GN4 Honda 10W30 motor oil. Also, of course, where I bought the bike was Honda, the Ozarks in Springfield, and that's also where I bought the oil. They got a good deal on the oil filter. It's local, so I run down there, grab the oil and filter to get this done, and all we're going to need for this really is an Allen wrench, some sockets, and pretty simple oil change really. So I'll show you how to do that. We'll get started. Alright, the first thing we got to do is remove the skid plate, which is fairly simple. As you can see right here, we got to remove these two Allen bolts, and there's one in the rear. So I'll get an Allen wrench and get them removed. Okay, there's a bolt on the other side here. Okay, here's the bolt that we got to remove by the shifter. Right there. Now when you pull this down, I don't know if you can see this or not, but you pull this down out of here, the other side is just set onto it, and when you pull it this way, it just comes off. This grommet sits right on a peg. So when you put it back on, you put this on the peg first, then you put this bolt back in, tilt it up, put the two front bolts in. Okay, got me an oil pan now, so I'm ready to drain the oil. One thing I want to mention usually is my bike's already warm, but normally if it's cold you would start the bike up, run it 3 minutes or so, and then shut the key off, let it cool down for a couple minutes so it's not too, hot, or the pipes. Be careful right here because these pipes will be extremely hot. You don't want to touch those. And then you can start draining the oil. To drain the oil on this thing, there's actually two bolts. One of them is located right here, 12 millimeter. The other one is located, if you can see it, right back there, 12 millimeter. So we just take a 12 millimeter socket and take them out. Also, be careful when you remove it not to lose this washer. This is a crush washer. It actually works like a gasket. There'll be one on each one of the bolts, so be careful not to lose those crush washers. You'll be putting them back on or replace them with a new. Okay, while I let that drain down, I want to go ahead and remove the oil filter, which is right here, and use my oil filter wrench on it. Got a little socket that fits on there. Hey. Okay, I would also like to point out, whenever you do remove this, be sure that the gasket is on here and not on this surface here. You don't want to put it back with double gaskets, or you'll have a serious problem when you start it back up. So just make sure this is the clean metal, no debris around it, and then make sure your gasket is still on the old one. Okay, got me some of the new engine oil off the jug, out of the jug, and then I want to take and just put a light coat of the oil around this seal before I put it back on. And I'll spin the new filter on. And tighten it. Okay, now I got a torque wrench. So I want to, dirt on my hand. I want to torque this back to 19 foot-pounds. That's what I want to put this at. Right there. We're good to go on that. Now I'll take that socket off there. Now we need to install the drain plugs back in the motor as soon as this quits dripping, which won't be long. Make sure when you put these bolts back in that you do have your crush washers on there. And then what you're going to do is use a torque wrench again. And we're going to torque these to 22 foot-pounds. Move this out of the way. As I say, make sure you get your crush washer on there. Just that easy. Now, we'll put the skid plate back on. Put that right there on the peg on that side, like I was saying. Put your rear Allen bolt in here. Be sure that you got this spacer into this rubber part right here, and your washer on your Allen head bolt. You don't even have to use a bike stand actually to change oil on this. You can, but with removing the skid plate and everything, it'd make it kind of a pain, so you don't really even need to use a center stand or a bike stand. If you had a center stand on the bike, you can buy it also at Honda. The Ozarks, they have you can get a center stand for this bike, and then you can put it on the center stand. It holds it up straight as long as you're on level ground, and make it real nice, which I will be getting one of those pretty soon. Okay, on this side we have the oil filler cap right here. You just remove it. Make sure the O-ring stays on this. You don't want to lose that. And it is clean. This area is clean of any debris, dirt, anything like that. Moisture, you don't want the water around it either. And then right here we have the dipstick that we check the oil with. And so we will wipe it off. And the way they want this is, or most anything, is between these two marks, you're good. I usually like to feel it right at close to the upper mark. But and the way you will check it is, whenever you put some oil in here, this thing holds 4.3 quarts. Take this dipstick, put it in there until it bottoms out, but do not thread it in. Let it bottom out, pull it out, check it. Add your oil, stick it in there same way. Do not thread it in, pull it out and check it. Wipe it off each time to make sure that you get an accurate reading. So I'm going to get 4.3 quarts and put in there. Okay, this thing holds 4.3 quarts, US quarts, with the oil filter change. So we want to make sure that we use this whole gallon, and then we'll add 3/10 of another quart. Okay, so we already know we can dump this whole gallon in there and be safe. Okay, now that we got that done, we want to hold the bike level. Put our dipstick in there. Make sure you're on a level surface. Do this. Okay, yep, that's exactly on the mark. 4.3 US quarts is exactly on the mark, so I don't want to do anything any different right there. That is good. Put the dipstick back in. Put the oil filler cap back on. All the bolts are tight. Oil filter's tight. 4.3 US quarts in this thing. 600 miles down on this Africa Twin. Now, if you're not brave enough to do your oil change yourself, if you don't want to, don't feel like you want to do it, Honda the Ozark has a super service shop in there to do oil changes or anything that needs done on the bike or ATV that you have. But they'll do that. They got all the parts if you need parts. If you need an Africa Twin. You'll never get a better deal than what you'll get at Honda the Ozark. So anyway, thank you all for watching Woodzman Dual Sport Adventures. Appreciate your comments, likes, and subscribes. I'll put the link down below. And then I'll catch you all in the next video.